everyone. Zypo Moyo, those are Charlottesville-area, being a Pan-Africanist, I am because of my ancestry. So I'll be presenting on a celebration of African diversity and aspirations through activism and people power. So the first thing, which is easy for me, is because everyone has came through. The reason why we're here as young African leaders for the Mandela Washington is because of an opportunity, and we like to thank the American people for the taxpayers' money. Why? Because Africa is the second largest in size and the second largest in populace in the continent. It has the youngest population in the world, with 70% of sub-Saharan Africa under the age of 30. By 2030, young Africans are expected to make up to 42% of the world's youth population and account for 75% of those under the age of 35 in Africa. However, the leadership trends have not affirmed that, as we can take pieces from Ikena, Nigeria's presentation, and also Mariama from Gambia when we talk about democracy and governance and representation. So, when we talk about women's leadership in Africa, it is also something which is a soul, because we know how crucial our mothers and grandmothers were post and after independence. More if we talk about the economy, where women have a lot of unpaid labor. And one thing about that, when we're moving forward, Africa must harness its knowledge, skills, talents at all levels of problem-solving process as means of reclaiming the continent's future. A high number of young people and women is an opportunity for the continent's growth, but only if these new generations are fully empowered to realize their best potential. This may be achieved by focusing on leadership, voice, and visibility. But I'll tell you my personal story about getting myself a voice. This journey introduced me to violent protests, and for issues of tear gas, I can tell you that we always move with the wet towel. There's been an issue of running away from home, being under surveillance, and the last straw was being detained for 2 nights after having given birth 15 days back. As I sat in the cold dark cell recovering from beatings under my feet, my top was wet from breast milk, which was uncontrollably oozing from my nose, and my bottom messed with blood from the child labor process. My thoughts were with my daughter, whom my mother told me cried hysterically non-stop for 3 hours first night and slept with water as he failed to consume formula milk. My own mother almost suffered a stroke and had no idea of my whereabouts and feared for my life, as the Robert Mugabe's regime was ruthless at that time. This was the night I envisioned the use of non-violent means to push our leaders for change. It is against that background I envisioned Africa Kiburi, which was established in 2017, which hopes to have women and young people pivoted in its development as according to aspiration number 6 of the African Union. We hope for a more proud, diverse women and young people empowered to fight injustices and build impartial societies in Africa. And our primary stakeholders are to have, and our primary goal is to have our stakeholders to be able to exercise their civil and political power. We acknowledge that as a single entity, we can never achieve this alone. Hence, I'm very excited to be having my African brothers and also my colleagues that I've met in a different continent. We believe that we need to build a social movement with collective power beyond small group organizing to achieve sustainable development goals, especially those focused on inclusive representative decision-making, reducing inequality within and among countries, and gender equality and women's empowerment. The best way around this is pushing a new form of advocacy that I call activism. Activism is where art meets activism. Some politicians on the continent can seem internal, but from what my brothers have mentioned about the NSAS, we talk about Arab Spring, we can talk about Bobby Wine. There's endless drive for change too, and Africa has a long history of protest and activism in support for better governance. Art has continued to play a critical role in the promotion of human rights and the positive transformation of societies both during and after mass atrocities. Art has the ability to raise awareness and tell stories. Art can reflect back at us the world we live in, oftentimes with greater clarity. Art can also depict visions of the future and shed light on histories and cultures gone. It is against this background that for my first project we are organizing what we call Africa Wumba Festival, Wumba meaning to mold. This is supposed to be the longest and biggest festival in the region, which will be done annually every time from 25 November from 25 November to 10 December. We envision to have two components, which is the conferencing and art. Conferencing brings about Indaba. Indaba being a Ndebele word meaning where people meet and make decisions. From what everyone was saying, this is where we gather grassroots concerns. What are we saying about nutrition in Africa? What is our position as young people when it comes to democracy and governance? And what is our way forward? As a collective, people power, we want to have a position paper, communique that is sent to the African Union, to our governments, so that we hold them to account. And when it comes to the art pieces, we also envision having pieces like Women, Wine and Words, Theatre for Change, and so forth. We hope that this will be the only powerful force, because solidarity and collaborations have actually proved to be a solution for civil society organizations in Africa. And where do we come in? All the African leaders present here today. We've got JD, who's going to push us for social justices. We know of Mofolo, who's going to talk about extractive industries. And where else do we go? We like to call upon our brothers and sisters who have met from the American to come and provide their expertise and possibly to see how forward we can go to making this a success. Thank you.